Have you ever stopped at a red light and wondered, does everyone see this color the same way I do? Or maybe you've debated with friends about whether a dress is blue or gold, or if that apple is really as red as you think. Color is everywhere, woven into the fabric of our daily lives, from the warning red of a stop sign to the calming blue of a clear sky. But have you ever paused to consider whether the colors you see are truly the same as what everyone else sees? If you don't like thinking colors are boring but still wonder why stop signs are always red, then stick around, because science is about to blow your mind with some answers. Today, we're diving deep into the mysteries of color perception and what scientists have recently discovered about how our brains process the vibrant world around us. For centuries, philosophers, artists, and scientists have argued about whether colors are a matter of personal perception, or if there's something universal about them. Is your red the same as my red, or are we all just guessing? This question has fascinated people for ages, sparking debates in coffee shops, classrooms, and art studios around the world. Some have even wondered if color is just an illusion, a trick of the mind, or if it's a fundamental part of reality. The debate goes back to ancient times, with thinkers like Plato and Aristotle pondering the nature of color, and artists experimenting with pigments to capture the world as they saw it. Even today, color remains a hot topic, fueling passionate discussions about everything from fashion to interior design to the latest viral internet debates. But get this, modern science is finally cracking the code, and it's not just a metaphor. Thanks to advances in brain imaging and neuroscience, researchers are literally decoding how our brains process color. It's like opening a secret book that's been locked away in our heads for millennia. With powerful new tools, scientists can now peer inside the living brain and watch as it responds to the colors of the world. This isn't just about seeing pretty pictures on a screen. It's about understanding the very foundations of how we experience reality. Imagine being able to see the electrical symphony that plays out in your brain every time you look at a rainbow, a painting, or even a simple traffic light. Here's how they did it. Scientists invited volunteers to lie inside powerful MRI scanners, those giant machines that can see inside your brain. While inside, the volunteers were shown a series of colored shapes and patterns. Reds, blues, greens, and everything in between. The researchers watched in real time as different areas of the brain lit up in response to each color. These experiments are carefully designed, with participants sometimes asked to focus on subtle differences between shades, or to simply relax and let the colors wash over them. The MRI scans capture the ebb and flow of neural activity, revealing which parts of the brain are working hardest when we see different hues. It's a bit like tuning into the brain's own private light show, with each color producing its own unique pattern of activation. The wild part? When people saw the same color, like a bright, juicy apple red, their brains responded in almost exactly the same way. Nearly identical regions lit up, as if everyone's brain was speaking the same color language. It didn't matter if you were an artist, a scientist, or someone who just loves colorful socks. Your brain's response to red was nearly a carbon copy of everyone else's. This finding was both surprising and exciting because it suggests that there's a kind of universal neural fingerprint for each color. No matter your background, your culture, or your personal taste, your brain seems to process basic colors in a remarkably similar way to everyone else's. It's as if we all share a built-in color dictionary, hardwired into our neural circuits. It's like our brains are using a universal codebook for color, translating the wavelengths of light into a shared experience. Imagine a secret handshake that everyone knows, even if they've never met before. That's what's happening in your head every time you see a color. The brain takes the raw data from your eyes, the wavelengths of light bouncing off objects, and transforms it into the rich, vivid sensations we call color. And the most amazing part? This transformation happens in much the same way for almost everyone. It's a testament to the power of evolution, which has shaped our brains to interpret the world in ways that are both reliable and meaningful. This shared code helps us communicate, navigate, and make sense of our environment, whether we're picking ripe fruit or admiring a sunset. In one especially funky experiment, participants were given a massive palette with hundreds of shades and asked to match colors as closely as possible. Some people hesitated, others were confident, but everyone tried to find the perfect match. The results? Even when people disagreed a little on the exact shade, their brains still showed the same patterns of activity for each color. This suggests that while our language and preferences might differ, one person's crimson might be another's scarlet, the underlying neural response is strikingly consistent. It's as if our brains are all reading from the same script, even if we sometimes improvise the lines. This experiment also highlights the fascinating interplay between perception and language, showing how our brains can agree on the basics even when our words and opinions diverge. So even if you and your friend argue about whether something is crimson or scarlet, your brains are telling the same story. My red really is your red, at least as far as our brains are concerned. It's a wild thought. Beneath all our differences, we're wired to see the world in remarkably similar ways. This discovery challenges the old idea that color is purely subjective, and instead points to a deep, biological commonality. It's a reminder that, despite our individual quirks and preferences, we share a fundamental connection with every other human being. The next time you find yourself in a heated debate about the color of a dress or a car, remember, your brains are probably in perfect agreement, even if your words aren't. But why does this matter? Why should we care if our brains agree on color? Well, it turns out this discovery has some pretty big implications for how we design our world and communicate with each other. Color isn't just a matter of aesthetics, it's a crucial part of how we navigate our environment, make decisions, and share information. From warning signs to branding to digital interfaces, color plays a vital role in shaping our experiences and guiding our actions. Understanding the universality of color perception can help us create more effective, inclusive, and accessible designs, ensuring that everyone can interpret and respond to visual cues in the same way. For artists and designers, knowing that people perceive colors in similar ways means they can create art, logos, and products that look the same to everyone. It's also a game changer for technology. Think about artificial intelligence, which needs to see colors the way we do to make smart decisions. Even your phone's camera and your favorite photo app rely on this science to make sure your sunset selfies look just right. In the world of marketing, companies can be confident that their brand colors will evoke the same feelings and associations in people across the globe. And in healthcare, understanding color perception can improve everything from medical imaging to the design of life-saving equipment. The ripple effects of this research touch nearly every aspect of modern life, from the clothes we wear to the apps we use every day. And imagine the chaos if we didn't share a common code for color. Traffic lights would be a disaster. What if your red was my green? Crossing the street would be a risky guessing game. Our shared brain code for color keeps daily life running smoothly, from driving to picking out ripe fruit at the grocery store. It's easy to take for granted, but this invisible agreement underpins so much of what we do. Without it, simple tasks could become confusing or even dangerous. The next time you stop at a red light or reach for a perfectly ripe tomato, take a moment to appreciate the silent harmony that makes it all possible. But here's a brain twister for you. If we all agree on red, what about those colors that are a little more out there? Think about teal, magenta, or even those weird shades you see in a sunset or a neon sign. Do our brains sync up on those too? The world is full of colors that defy easy categorization, and our brains have to work a little harder to make sense of them. These in-between colors can be especially tricky, sparking debates and confusion even among experts. Yet they also add richness and variety to our visual experience, reminding us that color is as much about exploration as it is about agreement. Scientists are still exploring the edges of our color perception. Early research suggests that while we're pretty consistent with basic colors like red, blue, and green, things get a bit fuzzier with more complex shades. Some people might see teal as more blue, others as more green, but our brains still show a surprising amount of overlap. This area of research is opening up new questions about how culture, language, and even genetics can influence the way we see and describe colors. For example, some languages have more words for certain colors, which can subtly shape how speakers perceive those hues. But even with these differences, the underlying brain patterns remain remarkably similar, pointing to a shared foundation beneath the surface diversity. So, is my teal your teal? The answer is, mostly yes, but with a little room for personal flair. Our brains are like artists working from the same palette, but sometimes they mix the paint just a bit differently. This subtle variation is part of what makes the world so interesting. It allows for creativity, individuality, and even a bit of friendly disagreement. But at the end of the day, the similarities far outweigh the differences. The next time you and a friend can't agree on the color of a shirt or a car, remember, your brains are probably more in sync than you think, even if your eyes and words don't always match up perfectly. If this blew your mind, give us a like, hit subscribe, and tell us, what's the most intense color you've ever seen? Maybe it's a fiery sunset, a neon sign, or the perfect shade of blue on your favorite shirt. Let us know in the comments and keep your eyes open. because the science of color is just getting started. As researchers continue to unlock the secrets of the brain, who knows what new discoveries await? Maybe one day we'll be able to share our exact experiences of color with each other, or even create entirely new colors that no one has ever seen before. Until then, take a moment to appreciate the incredible shared adventure of seeing the world in color, a journey that connects us all, one vibrant shade at a time.